You tend to place premium on reason. How does that differ from intuition? And which view of ethics best aligns with behavioral ethics?
So I think that the reason that we use our intuition is that if we tried to go through a grocery store and think deeply about every decision, it would take us 2 weeks to get through the grocery store. So we need to use our intuition to cover the hundreds, if not thousands, of decisions that we make every day. Okay. And so there's good reason why we want some quick way of making decisions. You can think of, there are a variety of rules that we follow. Well, if there's a rule, that means that we don't have to think about that particular decision. We can simply follow the rule. Okay. But there's the potential that we get less ethicality, less goodness in some sense. Now, undoubtedly, people from different philosophical traditions are going to have different notions of what is more ethical. Sort of, if I had to label myself, I would think of myself as a practical utilitarian. So I'd like my life to contribute to creating more good for more people, and to, in a Peter Singer version, go beyond the human species in terms of thinking about pleasure and pain. But that's a tall order, and I don't remotely think that I'm that close to being a pure utilitarian. So I think of myself as a practical utilitarian, where I think about what are the different reasons why I'm not more of a pure utilitarian. So we can think of there's selfish aspects of my behavior. So I care more about my own outcomes than other people's outcomes. So that's a limitation that gets in the way of utilitarianism. I think all humans start with a bias toward what Josh Green would call their tribe, and when people think about their tribe, they often privilege one group of people over another, and that's a barrier toward creating the most value for society when we're overvaluing some people at the expense of other people.
Would you care to discuss that further?
There's a very famous book that that students and executives love called Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, and Gladwell strongly encourages people to trust their intuition. Many of us who study decision making think that that Blink offers pretty bad advice, and we in fact think that intuition is flawed in a variety of ways. But one of the ways in which it's flawed is our intuitive responses are typically not our most ethical responses. And if we can get people out of their intuitive responses into more deliberative thought, ethicality goes up.